So in this video, I want to really quickly go over parts of the study guide just to make sure that you are in a good place for tomorrow, okay, for your test. So I'm going to just do kind of one problem for each section, and then hopefully that'll get you started. Okay, so for the 10% rule, remember only 10% goes from one level to the next. I'm going to do number 9 for you because this is probably the most challenging one. Okay, suppose 5,000 kilocalories of energy are available to the grasses. How much energy would be available to tertiary consumers? So the first thing I did was read the problem. I underlined the key parts of that. So it says the grasses have 5,000 kilocalories of energy. I know that grasses are producers. And I know that I'm trying to get all the way to 1, 2, 3. Tertiary consumers are the third one up, okay? Every time I go up, I basically get rid of a 0. So I place my decimal place at the end. I move it 1 to the left. So my primary consumers are getting 500 kilocalories of energy. Take my decimal, move it 1 to the left. My secondary consumers are getting 50 kilocalories. Take my decimal, move it 1 to the left. And my tertiary consumers are getting 5 kilocalories. I know I was 5 because I was looking for tertiary, so my answer is B. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Biodiversity. So in biodiversity, remember this is like, bio means life, and diversity is different. So it's like different forms of life. Biodiversity is a really good thing, right? Because if you think like, if I have a lot of different species like the tropical rainforest, if one of those is eliminated, right, I still have like a bunch of other species. It doesn't mean that my whole ecosystem is going to collapse. So in this exercise, we're identifying either richness or evenness. Richness is just the amount of different species. Evenness is like the specific number that each species has. Okay. So if it is just telling you the different species, but there's no number, this would be richness. If there are numbers and it's the same, right, I have 15 fish and 15 whales. Okay, that's even because it's telling me that I have the same number of each organism or of each kind of species. So that would be evenness. Let's go below to roles of organisms. So remember, roles are producers, consumers, there's autotrophs, heterotrophs, things like that. What is the producer? That's a really easy one. I'm going to do what are the consumers, okay? Consumers are anything that eats anything else. So I can literally name for consumers that grasshopper is a consumer, mouse is a consumer, rattlesnake is a consumer, cougar is a consumer, because they're all eating something else. Okay. Reminder that heterotroph and consumer are the same thing, and autotroph and producer are the same thing. In these kinds of problems, you want to write as many things as apply. So for consumers, I had 4. I would be writing 4 of those organisms. And I can tell that they're eating something because there is an arrow pointing toward it. If there's no arrow pointing toward it, like there's no arrow pointing toward the grass, that means that nothing is eating it. That means it's a producer. The fun part. Okay, food web. Anytime that you see a food web, the first thing you're going to do is label it. Remember how we label it is P for producer. 1 is primary. 2 is secondary. 3 is tertiary. 4 is quaternary. It can probably go up from there. It can go 5, whatever, all the way up, okay? You start from the bottom and you go up, okay? So you start with the producers. You find the producers first. So producers are going to be the thing that have no arrows pointing toward it. So this one, and this one. I have no arrows pointing toward it. I only have arrows pointing away. Okay? So if I look from the producers, what's eating the producers? That's a primary consumer. Okay, giraffe is eating the producer. That makes it a primary. Rhino is eating the tree. That's a primary consumer. When I want to find a secondary consumer, okay, I look at what's eating the primary consumer. Look here, the lion is eating the giraffe. Giraffe is a primary consumer. That means that the lion is a secondary consumer. Do not think that those at the top are tertiary consumers or like quaternary. No. You only decide what kind of consumer they are based on what they eat, not where they are in the food web. Okay?